Hi, everybody. Zach Mitchell here. What are some of the greatest concerts that you have ever been to? I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite memories, my favorite concerts that I've ever been to. Now, yes, I have been to all of these shows before. These aren't what I consider to probably be the greatest concerts ever. These are, without a doubt, the greatest concerts that I've ever been to. So these are my top 10. I'm going to be going backwards. I've seen quite a few shows over the years, so I took a long time, thinking about this list. I think I've come up with a pretty legit decision. So, counting backwards, my favorite concerts of all time. Number 10 was Wishbone Ash. I saw them live in Cleveland, and they performed their live album, Live Dates, in its entirety. And it was amazing. I love Wishbone Ash. Number 9, surprisingly, was Ringo Starr and his All-Star Band. I saw him in Cleveland live. Ringo was there, obviously. He had Todd Rundgren on rhythm guitar. He had someone from Santana. I can't remember who it was. Someone from Toto, and they did a bunch of Beatles songs. They did Todd Rundgren songs, Toto songs, Santana songs, and it was a really magical night. So that's definitely in my top 10. Number 8 rather. I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. Number 8 was Brian Wilson and Jeff Beck together. They performed. I saw them in Toledo. And this was back when there were rumors floating around that Brian Wilson was making a new album with Jeff Beck, and they were going out on tour to promote this upcoming album. Now, if you've heard in the news about that recently, Brian Wilson's still working on this new album, but he's dropped all of Jeff Beck's contributions to it, which I think is the stupidest move anybody could ever make. I don't know why he did that. Who doesn't want to hear Beach Boys songs with Jeff Beck on guitar? I mean, it's amazing. I mean, if you were at that show, then you know how amazing it was. It was a beautiful night. Brian Wilson came out first. He did a bunch of Beach Boys songs and a bunch of his solo stuff. And he's not the best singer, but he's definitely one of the greatest songwriters ever. And after he performed for about an hour and a half, Jeff Beck came out, and then he played for an hour. A bunch of his stuff, which was amazing. And then they all came out together, Jeff Beck's band and Brian Wilson's band, and they did Brian Wilson's Surf's Up. Jeff Beck played that on the guitar, and it was phenomenal. And then they left the stage. They came out. They did encores of Barbara Ann and Surfin' USA and Danny Boy, which was going to be on the new album, but it's dropped now. But Jeff Beck playing guitar on Beach Boys songs sounds phenomenal. I think there's video of the tour somewhere on YouTube, so check it out because it is amazing. So that was my number 8. Number 7 is Fleetwood Mac. I saw them live in Cleveland, this was the tour that they were doing before Christy McVie joined back up with them. But they were amazing. Lindsey Buckingham is definitely in my top 10 of best guitarists of all time. And Stevie Nicks, I've been listening to her. I've been listening to Fleetwood Mac my whole life. It's a band that's been with me my whole life, and I know all of their songs, and just to see them live like that was amazing. It was one of the best nights of that summer that I saw them, and so that's why it's my number 7, Fleetwood Mac. Number 6, these two bands were together. One came out first, and then the other one came out last. And it was Bad Company and Lynyrd Skynyrd. They both played in Cleveland, and it was phenomenal. Paul Rodgers is definitely one of the best singers of all time, and Johnny Van Zant definitely fills his brother's shoes great. So that was an amazing show. All right, number 5, Blue Oyster Cult. I saw them live in Cleveland yesterday. And I know it's kind of odd to judge a concert after being to so many concerts on just one night, but it was literally one of the best shows that I've ever seen. I've seen Blue Oyster Cult twice now, but this time that I saw them last night was definitely an amazing, better than the last one. So Blue Oyster Cult is definitely in my top 10. Number 4, The Who. I saw them live in Columbus. They played Quadrophenia in its entirety, which is definitely one of my all-time favorite albums, an album that I can really relate to. And they were just beyond description. Roger Daltrey, he had throat surgery recently, so his voice sounded a whole lot better than what I've heard it used to sound like on past tours. And Pete Townsend can still jam on that guitar better than anybody else. So The Who is definitely in my top 5. Alright, I think we're at number 3 now. Number 3 was the Eagles. I saw them on their History of the Eagles tour here in Cleveland, and another amazing show. Number 2, Roger Waters. I saw him live in Detroit playing The Wall in its entirety. And if you have not seen or heard anything about Roger Waters' tour of The Wall, you have to check it out, or you're a moron. And finally, number 1 of my favorite concerts of all time. This is my number 1 favorite. Nothing is going to be able to top this one, and I already know it. Except for possibly the Rolling Stones, who I haven't seen yet. But never say never. But so far, this is my all-time favorite, which will never be topped. Paul McCartney. I saw him live in Pittsburgh on his latest tour. And what can you say about Paul McCartney? Everybody knows every single Beatles, all the words to every single Beatles songs. I saw people from 5 years old to 95 years old there, and they knew all of them knew every single word. It was really, really great. So, those are my top 10 favorite concerts of all time, and I would love to hear what your favorite concerts that you've been to are. So leave a comment in the section below here and tell me. And remember to thumbs up the video. Until next time, I'm Zach Mitchell.